sena smakachena. Kunaiwo nasi.
Yeah, you are young, madam.
Masama kwa mangani kwese.
33 years together. That's the only non-academic question I'm going to entertain from you, Richard. Because the test ya Mussolini wakafoira une 4 out of 25. Hitler. Anyway, today we are going into the Mutapa Kingdom. Right. So what happens? 15th century. 15th century, we have a guy called Nyatsimba Mutota, who moves from the Great Zimbabwe Kingdom. He was a prince in the Great Zimbabwe Kingdom. Dova move into the Zambezi Valley, right? He moves into the Zambezi Valley. This is around 1420, thereabout. He moves into the Zambezi Valley. Zambezi, Dande area. Zambezi, Dande area. He was moving there in search of salt. His father had sent him. I see relationship. Right. So he was moving there in search of salt. Salt was very important. Even in Roman history, Roman soldiers used to be paid in salt. Right. So then he establishes this kingdom. He goes there and he finds this kingdom is nice. So dear Iriko, not only that, there were elephants there, so many elephants. For you to remember this now, and then now there's also gold and there's copper. So he establishes the kingdom. But now, the way that he establishes the kingdom, he forms an alliance with a high priest who was there already. A Tavara high priest. The Tavara people. So he forms an alliance with the Tavara high priest. So he forms an alliance. Kingdom now established. What then happens? After he is gone, he is then succeeded by a guy called Nyanewe Matope. Now, Nyanewe Matope, what does he do? Nyanewe Matope, between the period of 1450 to 1480, Dia akatanga kusimudza the Mutapa Kingdom. He introduced structure, he introduced complexity in their lifestyle, because now trading was on a high. But we imagine my alliance per se. He would conquer, plunder people, and then absorb them into his kingdom. So by so doing, he was consolidating power. He was developing and bringing and building an even stronger kingdom. And then they become part of the Mutapa Kingdom. So now the Mutapa Kingdom is strong. Life in the Mutapa Kingdom, this was the structure. The king, Kutimunu Mutapa, or Mwene Mutapa, the possessor of the conquered lands. And it Mwene, Weshakatapa, Mwene Mutapa, Munu Mutapa, right. This guy was the judicial, the political, the economic, and the social leader. The king had ultimate power. They would treat him like God. But also religion played a very, very huge role in the Mutapa Kingdom, to such an extent that spirit mediums would be consulted. And right, Mambo Richard, that's what they would do, because religion was such a strong part of this kingdom. Now the Mutapa Kingdom is flourishing, it is prospering. At this time they are doing trade. One get a trade with the Arabs, one get a trade with the Swahili people. Now the Swahili had established stations Konana Tete, Nebana Sofala. That's along the Mozambican coast, that side. So they are doing trade and everyone is happy. But what then happens? Kunoya, Nubu, Nubu. All right, let me not call them Nubu. The Portuguese then come. This is around 1511. The first Portuguese to enter is Antonio Fernandes. Those of my not Antonio Fernandes. We call him Antonio Fernandes. Kana tiri ku Portugal, atipronounce kumwe kwese, munoona bhora munoziva kuti anonzi Bruno Fernandes. And he comes in around 1511. So now there are Portuguese interests in the Mutapa kingdom. The Portuguese vakangwana varada kutry control trade, varada kutry kuona kuti zvii zviri kuitika. There are other parts of Africa kwavanga vatone influence kudhara, like areas like kunana Mozambique, kumsoroko, kunana Congo, chichi, they were playing around there. So now they are trying to see what happens here. So now these guys start slowly infiltrating, slowly influencing things. Zvakaita sekuti when these Portuguese come and they are now staying, vakuita intermarry kudaro, that's when they would give birth to children vakada kuita, for lack of a better word, bakarat, anditika vainzi the mulattoes. The mulattoes is a mixture of the black people and the Portuguese. Then these mulattoes, the role they would play was to be like go-betweens, agents, person nekuti they have an understanding of both cultures. Anditika this is what happens when people start mix vachidaro vachisangana vakadaro. The same thing with for instance, the Swahili. This Swahili language is not like an official language, but a language yakagadzirwa out of necessity, out of need, because you can imagine that the Arabs were moving from kumsoro kwavo vachipinda muAfrica, vachinopfuura nemunana Tanzania, vakaisa strong influence in Tanzania. That's why you will find that when you go to Tanzania, Islam is a widely practiced religion. These guys had their influence there. So now it's just Swahili. Swahili is a language that can form up, because for those who understand how Swahili sounds like, there some connotations. It's not Bantu language. It's not Shona. For instance, in Swahili, what do you call a goat? Cynthia, Muka, Mbuzi. Antitika, isusu munomtinotiji, tinoti mbudzi. Kana chida may God bless you with your long life. Unoti Mungu akubariki na maisha marefu, long, uruna, marefu, kunokuti chinjareba, chirefu. So anyway, so this is what happens when people start to mix. What then happens? Tichifamba nengwa kudara. We happen in 1511. Then later, in 1561, an ambitious missionary by the name Father Gonçalo da Silveira. Father Gonçalo da Silveira. Vasopinda manje. He gets into the Mutapa kingdom. This guy gets into the Mutapa kingdom with the sole intent of invading, but not invading through war, not invading through fighting, through religion. He converts the current king Angaripo patime iyoyo ainzi Negomo. Negomo punza good. He was the current king. He converts him to Christianity successfully. But remember, the Mutapa kingdom was highly religious. Everything was centered on religion. Now after all, the king. Our father. King. Now people are starting to talk after his time. Father Gonçalo da Silveira. The other reason was these guys, the Swahili and the Arabs that they were trading with, some of them were staying in the provinces of the Mutapa kingdom. So now a Christian has converted the king. This is going to disturb everything. This is going to disturb our relations and our interests. Father Gonçalo da Silveira was killed. King sorry, then the king was then killed. Father Gonçalo da Silveira was killed. The way he was killed, that's exactly what they did to Father Gonçalo. So now, this is 1561. 1569, the Portuguese now want to attack, because now they have a legitimate reason to want to attack the Mutapa people. Because now they attack. Now, because they are attacking, though the Mutapa was there, he managed to resist and drive out, but the kingdom is becoming weaker and weaker. So these constant fights, the constant influence of the Portuguese people, because the other thing that they would do, they would forcefully take the Mutapa people to work for them. Waka create a prazo or prazero system. And zvimafamu so painzi vanhu uyai mushande kunoko forced labor vanhu vasingabhadharwe zvakanaka vasingabhadharwa mari dzavo kuti prazo ndo panobva izwi rekuti mapurazi pamunoti munhu akakurira kumapurazi. This is where it came from. It's a Portuguese root, prazo or prazero system. So now they are doing that. They are influencing even the selection of kings. Because they were weak and they would favor the interests of the Portuguese. So things like that. We can say this is now the beginning of the decline of a kingdom that was once very powerful. Imagine Nyatsimba Mutota akaestablish kingdom zvakanaka. Matope akaexpanda kingdom zvakanaka. Ava vanhu vana Cristiano Ronaldo ndo vakatanga kuinfluence vaiti pakaita rebellious groups. Vaibva vati rebellious groups iwayo vaigona kuvapa pfuti. Rebellious groups vaimasupporta. But this, among other factors, such as drought, drought this area, there was also land exhaustion, there was also succession disputes, but I'm points, what points led, to what extent succession disputes, then also people who were migrating, Zulu during the Fetani, all of these people, they would pass through these kingdoms and plunder, which eventually led to the decline of the Mutapa State. Ladies and gentlemen, today is my anniversary. I don't accept any further questions. I need to go and celebrate. Bye-bye.